Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David, and I will be your master of ceremonies for the next 2 hours. It is my privilege to guide you through the twists and turns of this unique production. Allow me to explain. We will present, for your enjoyment, a musical comedy, The Zoo. From time to time, I will pause the zoo like so, and we will take a moment to enjoy some classic Gilbert and Sullivan hits. As a special treat, during many of these songs, I will encourage you to sing along. At this time, the house lights will rise halfway, and the words will appear on that magical wall over there. Don't hesitate. Please join in and help us in celebrating these timeless classics. But first, if you will please take a moment to silence all electronic devices, finish unwrapping any candies, and finish making any rustling noises. Our journey begins many miles at sea, on that old ship, the HMS Pinafore. And now, if you will join me in welcoming that well-bred, hardy gentleman, the captain of the Pinafore. If only we had some sort of gallant crew. My gallant crew, good morning.
Sir, good morning.
Could we try that one more time? Ladies too, please. My gallant crew, good morning.
Sir, good morning.
That was almost not a disgrace to Her Majesty's Navy. My gallant crew, good morning.
Sir, good morning.
I hope you're all quite well.
Quite well. And you, sir?
I'm in reasonable health and happy to meet you all once more.
You do us proud, sir.
I am the captain of the Pinafore.
A right good captain, too.
You're very, very good, and be it understood, I command a right good crew.
We're very, very good, and be it understood, he commands a right good crew.
They're related to a pier, I can hand, reef, and steer, or ship a salvagee. I am never known to quail at the fury of the gale. And I'm never, never sick at sea.
What, never?
No, never.
What, never?
Hardly ever.
He's hardly ever sick at sea. Then give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the hardy captain of the Pinafore. Then give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the captain of the Pinafore.
I do my best to satisfy you all.
And with you we're quite content.
You're exceedingly polite, and I think it's only right to return the compliment.
So exceedingly polite, and he thinks it only right to return the compliment.
Bad language or abuse I never, never use, whatever the emergency. Though bother it I may occasionally say, I never use a big, big D.
What, never?
No, never.
What, never?
Damn it! Hardly ever.
Hardly ever was a big, big D. Then give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the well-bred captain of the Pinafore. Then give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the captain of the Pinafore.
Yes, we love our captain, but to keep their morale up, these sailors need the company of their lovely maidens. They love to sing, dance, and be merry, but I don't need to tell you that. They can tell you themselves.
For the merriest fellows are we, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, that ply on the emerald sea, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la. With loving and laughing and quipping and quaffing, we're happy as happy can be. With loving and laughing and quipping and quaffing, we're happy as happy can be. Tra-la-la-la-la-la, drown in the shimmering blue. And jealousy yellow, unfortunate fellow, we drown in the shimmering blue.
And now, we begin the centerpiece of tonight's story, the zoo. You've all been to the zoo, I presume. Baby pandas nibbling on shoots of bamboo. Penguins doing that thing they do. This is nothing like that. Come, join us on a journey to Victorian England, where a day at the London Zoo is just beginning. At last I thought I might communicate in prescriptions. I had whom I adore, a token in love, a taken. The mixture as before I trust was nicely shaken. One day I saw arrive a letter which from her sister implored me to contrive to send her papa a blister. What joy
invades my heart, sea devil is now arriving. How scarify the part with devilish art contriving.
You scarify the part with devilish art contriving.
A dose of peppermint I thought might please her rather. I sent it her when I sent the blister for her father. But when I called next day, that fortune had turned the tables. I much regret to say my boy had changed the labels. And now, my friends, you see the reason for my emotion. The draught of life for me has turned to a bitter potion. I cannot but suppose of what happened. You have a notion. Her father used the dose and Leticia took the lotion.
Her father used the dose and Leticia took the lotion.
Will Carboy kill himself? Is Leticia really dead? We'll find out soon. But first, there's a group of charming young ladies I'd like you to meet. They've come all the way from Penzance, so be sure to give them a warm welcome. And please, feel free to sing along.
Climbing over rocky mountains, skipping rivulets and fountain, passing where the willows quiver, passing where the willows quiver by the ever-rolling river, swollen with the summer rain, threading long and leafy mazes, dotted with unnumbered daisies, dotted with unnumbered daisies, stealing rough and rugged passes, climb the hardy little lasses, still the bright seashore they gain. Stealing rough and rugged passes, climb the hardy little lasses, still the bright seashore they gain. Let us gaily tread the measure, make the most of fleeting leisure, hail it as a true ally, though it perish by and by. Hail it as a true ally, though it perish by and by. Every moment brings a treasure of its own especial pleasure, though the moments quickly die. Greet them gaily as they fly. Greet them gaily as they fly. Though the moments quickly fly, greet them gaily as they fly. Far away from toil and care, reveling in fresh sea air, here we live and reign alone in a world that is all our own. Here in this our rocky den, far away from mortal men, we'll be queens and make decrees. They may honor them who please. We'll be queens and make decrees. They may honor them who please. Let us gaily tread the measure, make the most of fleeting leisure. Hail it as a true ally, though that's just begun. Three little maids from school. Three little maids who all are merry, come from the ladies' seminary, free from genius to Larry. Three little maids from school. Three little maids from school. One little maid is a bright young nun. Two little maids in attendance come. Three little maids is the total sum. Three little maids from school. From three little maids take one away. Two little maids remain and they won't have to wait very long, they say. Three little maids from school. Three little maids from school. Three little maids who all are merry, come from a ladies' seminary, free from genius to Larry. Three little maids from school. Three little maids from school.
now, let's go back to where we were. And if you please, remove the chair.
Rashman, again we say forbear.
Withdraw the chair. Withdraw the chair.
Young man, I think it out of that. What on earth may you be at? Destroy yourself. You shan't, that's flat.
Rashman, forbear. Rashman, forbear.
A cruel fate. A cruel fate.
Apples, oranges, lemonade, ginger beer, soda, water.
That lovely voice I know so well. Its accents tender makes my bosom swell with deep emotion. Arrival near.
Thomas dear, Thomas dear.
A maiden pray have a care. You should not try your slave. Beware, beware, my feelings spare. Give back the heart I gave.
Oh, Thomas Brown, withdraw the frown that mantles on your brow. Around the town, both up and down, there's none compared to you.
A maiden path,
Oh, Thomas Brown,
pray have a care.
withdraw the frown.
Oh, come, my love, to the shady grove, and now we'll roam alone. And as we roam
My love, I'll prove
beneath the setting sun, and as we roam, I shall prove beneath the setting sun. Oh, come, my love. Oh, come, my
Is he
Who?
Esculapius? What's that?
I cannot say.
Say, have you seen my lost one pass this way?
A cruel fate, Letitia, or a ghost.
My own beloved, then you are not lost.
Say, is it you?
It is my foolish sister, that message sent in joke.
Then where's the blister?
The blister is upon my father's
heavenly house. Be thanked for that. Once more the face I loved so well returns to shed a ray of sunshine on my solitude and change my night to day.
Oh, let me gaze upon thy face and lean upon thy breast and find upon thy heart an everlasting rest.
And find upon thy noble heart an everlasting rest, an everlasting rest.
How much? Oh, how much?
You've had 4 tarts and a couple of pears. You've had 3 months of a man for the bears. 2 bags of nuts instead of the apes. 10 biscuits of various sizes and shapes.
Oh.
2 packets of superfine lollipops. 1 ounce of the very best pineapple drops. The largest cake you ever did see. And a half-pound packet of Portman's tea.
I've eaten as much as a man could eat. I've gone through a very remarkable feat. From the 2-penny tart to the kidney pie, I've swallowed as much as I could have. How better could a man his affection prove than by sucking himself for the sake of his love? With a bottle of pop, I've quenched my thirst, and now, if you please, I'm ready to burst.
You've had 4 tarts and a couple of
Yes, once again.
Some lollipops and pineapple.
Oh, once again.
You've had 4 tarts and a couple of
It's
pears.
a
You've had 3 months of the very best
I need upon my breast.
It's her, young man.
One moment, pray, I speak as a physician. It is essential for a man in his condition that he should not be crowded. Pray, stand back.
It's essential for a man in his condition that he should not be crowded or changing his position. So stand back, 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 stand back.
Prop him up upon a chair.
Lay him flat upon his back.
Give him lots of room and air.
It's a most severe attack. Turn him round upon his face.
Turn him round the other way.
Let him have a little space.
Do not crowd upon him, pray.
Turn him round upon his face.
Turn him round the other way.
Let him have a little space.
Do not crowd upon him, pray.
Give him brandy. That's a plan. That's a thing to do him good.
Brandy would kill the man.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
No, it
she flies, she flies.
She flies,
She flies,
I
she
fly.
flies, she flies, she flies, she flies.
What a very nice young woman.
Well, this is just terrible. Tom Brown tried to impress Eliza by eating all of her food, but now he's unconscious. Is he going to live? Will Eliza get the prescription in time? Unfortunately, we won't find out just yet. But I have been thinking lately, and I've been thinking about what a soprano and a pirate have in common. Do you have any ideas? They both murder on the high seas. It's because the ocean and musical. All right, I have another one for you. And this one came straight from Gilbert himself. Wherein lies the difference between a cook's brain pan and an overwound clock? Oh, my best conundrum wasted. It seems we won't find out, as we're under attack by a band of ferocious, yet exceedingly well-dressed pirates. Oh no! Is there anybody qualified to help us?
I am. I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I quote the fights historical from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations both the simple and quadratical. About my nominal theorem, I'm teeming with a lot of news.
Let's see, lot of news. What's a good rhyme for lot of news? Oh, yes, it is.
What's the news?
Oh, yes, a very, very
Domestic
good.
news.
Ah, here we are.
With many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse.
Many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. Many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. Many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse.
I'm very good at integral and differential calculus. I know the scientific names of beings and immaculate. In short, it matters vegetable, animal, and mineral. I am the very model of a modern major general.
In short, it matters vegetable, animal, and mineral. He is the very model of a modern major general.
I know a mythic history, King Arthur and Sir Caradox. I answer hard acrostics, I have a pretty taste for paradox. I quote an elegiac on the crimes of Heliogabalus. In conics, I can flow peculiarities, parabolas. Wow. I can tell undoubted Raphaels from Gerodons and Zophanies. I know the cooking chords from the frogs of Aristophanes. Then I can hum a fugue of which I've heard the music's dinner for.
Dinner for. That's a tough one. That's a good rhyme for dinner for. Any recommendations? Oh, yes.
What a bore.
Yeah.
Sing some more.
Oh, I will. I've got it. Here we are.
And whistle all the airs from that infernal nonsense Pinafore.
Whistle all the airs from that infernal nonsense Pinafore. Whistle all the airs from that infernal nonsense Pinafore. Whistle all the airs from that infernal nonsense Pinafore.
Then I can write a washing bill in Babylonic uniform and tell you every detail of Caractacus' uniform. In short, it matters vegetable, animal, and mineral. I am the very model of a modern major general.
In short, it matters vegetable, animal, and mineral. He is the very model of a modern major general.
In fact, when I know what is meant by mamelon and ravelin, when I can tell in sight a Mauser rifle from a javelin, when such affairs as sorties and surprises I'm more wary at, and when I know precisely what is meant by commissariat, when I have learnt what progress has been made in modern gunnery, when I know more of tactics than a novice in a nunnery. In short, when I have a smattering of elemental strategy.
Strategy. There's a good one. So what's a good rhyme for strategy? Any recommendations?
Swatter B.
Yeah.
Singing key.
Well, too late for that.
Piracy!
I've got it.
You'll say a better major general is never strategy.
Say a better major general is never strategy. Say a better major general is never strategy. Say a better major general is never strategy.
For my military knowledge, though I'm plucky and adventurous, has only been brought down to the beginning 19th century. But still in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, I am the very model of a modern major general.
Still in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, he is the very model of a modern major general.
And not only is he highly qualified, but he's also an Englishman.
For he is an Englishman, for he himself has said it, and it's greatly to his credit that he is an Englishman.
That he is an Englishman.
Or he might have been a Russian, a French or Turk or Prussian, or perhaps Italian.
Or perhaps Italian.
But in spite of all temptations to belong to other nations, he remains an Englishman. He remains an Englishman.
For in spite of all temptations to belong to other nations, he remains an Englishman. He remains an
Oh, better far to live and die under the brave black flag I fly, to play a sanctimonious part with a pirate hat and a pirate heart. Away to the cheating world go you, where pirates all are well-to-do. But I'll be true to the song I sing and live and die a pirate king. For I am a pirate king, and it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. For I am a pirate king,
Hurrah for a pirate king.
and it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king.
It is hurrah for the pirate king,
Hurrah for the pirate king. When I sally forth to seek my prey, I help myself in a royal way. I sink a few more ships, it's true, than a well-bred monarch ought to do. But many a king on a first-class throne, if he wants to call his crown his own, must manage somehow to get through more dirty work than e'er I do. Oh, I am the pirate king, and it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king, for I am a pirate king.
hurrah for a pirate king.
And it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king.
It is hurrah for the pirate king, hurrah for the pirate king.
That was close. It seems the Pirate King has added a few new members to his pirate crew. I hope they're all right. Meanwhile, a marriage is about to take place aboard the HMS Pinafore, but the bride-to-be is not too happy about it. Marriage is, as they say, a three-ring circus. You have the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the supper ring. Let's see what she has to say about it.
Congratulations on your upcoming marriage.
But Father!
Never mind the why and wherefore, love can never extend. Therefore, though his lordship's station's mighty, though stupendous be his brain, though her tastes are mean and flighty, and her footing poor and plain.
Ring the merry bells on board ship, rend the air with warbling wild, for the union of my lordship with a humble captain's child.
For a humble captain's daughter,
For a gallant captain's daughter,
And a lord who rules the water.
and a tar who plows the water.
Let the air with joy be laden, and with songs the air of blood, for the union now mated with the friend who owns the love. Never mind the why and wherefore, love can level ranks, and therefore, though her nautical relation in my sight can scarcely pass, though you occupy a station in the lower middle class. Ring the merry bells on board ship, rend the air with warbling wild, for the union of my lordship with a humble captain's child.
for a humble captain's daughter,
For a gallant captain's daughter,
And a lord who rules the water.
and a tar who plows the water.
Let the air with joy be laden, rend the songs the air above, for the union now mated with the man who owns the love.
Never mind the why and wherefore, love can never exit. Therefore, I'll admit the jurisdiction. Maybe have you played your part? You have carried forth conviction to my hesitating heart.
Ring the merry bells on board ship, rend the air with warbling wild, for the union of my lordship with a humble captain's child.
for a humble captain's daughter,
For a gallant captain's daughter,
And a lord who rules the water.
and a tar who plows the water. Let the air with joy be laden,
Ring the merry bells on board ship,
for the union of a maiden.
for the union of his lordship, rend the songs the air above, for the man who wants her love. Rend the songs the air above, for the man who wants her love.
Wasn't an interesting family. I do hope they work their problems out soon. Now watch out, because the pirates are back on the prowl.
With a cat-like tread upon our brave we steal, in silence dread, our cautious way we feel. No sound at all, we never speak a word, a fly's foot forward we distinctly heard.
Ta-run-ta-ra, ta-run-ta-ra.
So stealthily the pirate creeps while all the household sound sleeps. Come, friends who plow the sea, trust to navigation, take another station. Let's bury piracy with a little burglary. Come, friends who plow the sea, trust to navigation, take another station. Let's bury piracy with a little burglary.
Here's your crowbar and your sentiment, your life preserver. You may want to hit your silent matches, your dark lantern seas. Take your fire and the skeletonic keys.
With cat-like tread, in silence tread. With cat-like tread, upon our brave we steal. In silence dread, a cautious way we feel. No sound at all, we never speak a word. A fly's foot law would be distinctly heard. Come, friends, who plow the sea, trust in navigation, take another station. Lands buried by the sea, crippled and to Mercury, and the dead, all run away we steal. Inside the strain of Martian's rain, we feel.
Well, they aren't very sneaky, but they've sure got flair. Fortunately for them, that's just not going to cut it with the ladies. No, they want gondolieri. And as is so often the case, the men would just stay in their pirate costumes were it not for the women there to help them out. I know I was in a pirate costume this morning.
Once more, gondolieri, both skillful and wary, free from this quandary, contented are we. From royalty flying, our gondolas flying, and terribly crying, our friendly study. So goodbye, come shoot up and dangle, come narrow, and dance a farewell to that treasure. There's a Judas and Pio Montero, we leave you with feelings of pleasure. Once more, gondolieri, both skillful and wary, free from this quandary, contented are we. Once more, gondolieri, contented are we. So goodbye, friendship, girlfriend, and no go narrow, but dance a farewell to that measure. Oh, there is a Judas and Pio Montero, we leave you with feelings of pleasure, with feelings of
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it truly is a delightful evening, and there's much more to come. But first, please take a moment to rest your voices, stretch your legs, and grab some concessions in the lobby. We'll meet back here in 15 minutes. See you there. Welcome back, everyone. Once again, yes, welcome. Once again, I would like to remind you to turn off all phones and other electronic devices. Put away any noisemakers, and come with us as we return to the zoo, where Tom Brown is still unconscious after gorging himself to impress the woman of his dreams. Let's find out what happens next.
Comrades, begins!
What does he say? His exclamation shows that he's a word.
Great powers, the garter!
grace is gracious grace.
Your grace?
Your grace is gracious grace.
Discovered, well, I confess. Yes, I'm a man of high degree.
That we all feel, that we all feel.
A member of the aristocracy.
Oh, let us kneel.
Nay, do not kneel. In such a virtue have I wandered here, and found it in this humble sphere.
Oh, let us kneel.
Nay, do not kneel.
Oh, let us kneel.
Nay, do not kneel. Ladies and gentlemen,
Here, here.
accustomed as I am to public
Speaking.
thank you, speaking, I feel
Overpowered.
thank you, no, overwhelmed upon this
Occasion.
Thank you, occasion, that is, and I also feel that your feelings, that they
Feel.
thank you. If you could
Feel.
thank you, if you could feel as I feel.
Here, here.
Thank you,
Here, here.
thank you.
Here, here. We gather from what you have said, that Eliza you fondly adore, that you worship and love her instead of the ladies you worshipped before, that she is the realized dream of your life, and whatever her station, by marriage you show your esteem, for her virtue and high reputation, for her virtue and high reputation.
Precisely, it was my intention that the sense of my words would be such. Your wonderfully quick comprehension and intelligence pleases me much.
Quite so, if that be the case, and the state we at last understand, we now would suggest to your grace to offer the lady your hand.
Your wishes with pleasure I meet. Give me time just to change my condition, and offer with joy at her feet myself and my dog position.
Our wish is delighted to meet. Give him time just to change his condition, and offer him joy at his feet, himself and his ducal position. Offer him joy himself and his ducal position.
Tom Brown is wearing a garter? Oh, Tom Brown is a member of the Order of the Garter. That means Tom Brown is one of the richest men in London. While he goes and puts on some of his finest clothes, let's take a look at the company he keeps while he's not at the zoo. Prepare yourselves, because you're in for a treat. Ladies and gentlemen, they're snobby, they're snippish, and by golly, they're sexy. Let's welcome the British Peers.
Bang the brasses. Blow
If you go in, you're sure to win. Yours will be the charming maid. Be your law, the ancient saw. Ain't never one fair lady. Never, never, never faint heart, never one fair lady. Every journey has an end, where the worst affairs will mend. Dark the dawn when day is nigh. Hustle your horse and don't say die.
He who shies at such a prize is not worth a more evade. He be so kind to bear in mind, faint heart never one fair lady.
Never, never, never faint heart, never one fair lady. While the sun shines, make your hay. Where a will is, there's a way. Beard the lion in his lair, none but the brave deserve the fair.
I'll take part and make a start, though I feel my prospect shady. Much I'd spend to gain my end. Faint heart, never one fair lady. Never, never, never faint heart, never one fair lady.
Nothing venture, nothing win. Blood is thick, but water's thin. In for a penny, in for a pound. It's love that makes the world go round. Nothing venture, nothing win. Blood is thick, but water's thin. In for a penny, in for a pound. It's love that makes the world go round.
May I take your cape, sir?
Indeed. Oh, thank you. And sword.
Here's how we do, if I marry you. When your time has come to perish, then the maiden whom you cherish must be sorted too. Here's how we do, here's how we do.
Here's a pretty mass, in a month or less. I must die without a wedding, let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mass, here's a pretty mass.
Here's a state of things, to her life she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion, burial it brings. Here's a state of things, here's a state of things.
With a passion that's intense, I worship and adore. But the laws of common sense we oughtn't to ignore. If what he says is true, 'tis death to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things, here's a pretty howdy-do. Here's a pretty state of things, a pretty state of things.
Here's a howdy-do,
Here's a howdy.
Here's a howdy-do.
For if what he says is true, I cannot marry her. Here's a pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do.
here's how we do, if I marry you. When your time has come to perish, then the maiden whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's how we do, here's how we do.
Here's a pretty mess, in a month or less. I must die without a wedding, let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess, here's a pretty mess.
Here's the state of things, to her life she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion, peril it brings. Here's the state of things, here's the state of things.
With a passion that's intense, I worship and adore. But the laws of common sense we oughtn't to ignore. If what I say is true, 'tis not to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things, here's a pretty howdy-do. Here's a pretty state of things, a pretty state of things.
Here's how we do,
Here's a howdy,
Here's a howdy.
For if what I say is true, I cannot marry her. Here's a pretty state of things.
pretty, howdy do.
Here's a howdy-do, if I marry you. When your time has come to perish, then the maiden whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's a howdy-do, here's a howdy-do.
Here's a pretty mess, in a month or less. I must die without a wedding, let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess, here's a pretty mess.
Here's a state of things, two electric things. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion, burial it brings. Here's the state of things, here's the state of things.
With a passionless intention, worship and adore, but the laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If what he says is true, 'tis death to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things, here's a pretty howdy-do. Here's a pretty state of things, a pretty state of things. Here's a howdy, here's howdy,
here's a howdy-do.
For if what he says is true, I cannot marry her. Here's a pretty, pretty state of things.
Here's a pretty howdy-do. And now let us return to the zoo. Yes? Well, you're more than welcome to sing along during the sing-alongs, ma'am. Oh, you do? I'm really not sure how I feel about this. Where are you going, ma'am? No. This way? There's the one way. No, there's one way.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you drunk?
Me?
Come bumpers are ever so many, and then if you will many more. This wine doesn't cost us a penny, oh it's Palmery 74. Old wine is a true panacea for every conceivable ill. When you cherish the soothing idea that somebody else pays the bill. But wine is a pleasure that's hollow. When at your own table you sit, when you're thinking each mouthful you swallow has cost you a 3-penny bit. So bumpers I have so many, and then you will many more. This wine doesn't cost us a penny, though it's Palmery 74.
So bumpers I have so many, and then you will many more. But this wine doesn't cost us a penny, though it's Palmery 74.
I once gave an evening party, a sandwich and cod orange ball. But my guests had such appetites hearty, I couldn't enjoy it at all. I made a concerted endeavor to act unconcerned, but in vain, and I vow that I never would ask anybody again. But there's a distinction decided, a difference that's truly immense, when the wine that you drink is provided at somebody else's expense. So bumpers I have so many, the cost we may safely ignore. This wine doesn't cost us a penny, though it's Palmery 74.
So bumpers I have so many, the cost we may safely ignore. But this wine doesn't cost us a penny, though it's Palmery 74. So bumpers I have so many, the cost we may safely ignore. But this wine doesn't cost us a penny, though it's Palmery 74.
Anybody else? Good. Now let's return to the zoo. Well, Tom Brown's marriage proposal will just have to wait, because someone has come to spoil the festivities. Who is it, you ask? Let's find out.
Where is my daughter? Oh, if I call her, if I could find her.
It's Grinder!
Yes, it's Grinder.
Oh, good down, don't do that. I've a blister on my back. Someone said she'd wandered here, and with cowboy too, I fear. My wicked daughter.
Yes, it's Grinder.
Oh, good down, don't do that. I've a blister on my back. And walk with a potion and walk with a lotion. I haven't a notion of what to expect.
What with the potion, what with the lotion, poor old Grinder, we paid too much.
Where has he gone? Say, oh say.
He'll come back presently, and it will all end pleasantly. Ahem, 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 ahem.
What does this mean? I cannot understand. I cannot understand. I'm a simple little child, and my ways are nice and mild, and I never harmed a soul in all my life. And I don't know what is wrong, as my principles are strong for this hemisphere of wickedness and strife. I have bracelets, it is true, and I've diamonds, just a few, that are locked up in a chest of drawers at home. And a dressing case with tops of gold and diamond drops, but I haven't an idea from whence they come. I love bouquets come in showers of the most expensive flowers that Convent Garden Market can provide. And it happened once last year that a poor crook did appear, the very best of thoroughbreds to ride. I have dresses by the dozens, but they're giving me my cousins, who have known me ever since I was that high. And tickets to the play are sent me every day, but I'm sure I never can imagine why. To Greenwich in the season I've been, and for the reason that I did not like my cousin to offend. But I saved my reputation to his very great vexation by driving back to London with his friend.
wretched outcast, bodies compounder of potions. Think of the past, think of the last, one of your horrible notions. Out of the light, out of my sight, out of some dutiful child. Is it the spite that you delight to drive your progenitor wild?
Hearts and tongues have been broken.
Yes, I distinctly refuse my consent.
Father, on suicide sea, he is bent.
Fetch me a rope.
Fetch him a rope.
Fetch me a rope.
Fetch him a rope. Fetch him a rope. Fetch him a rope.
Fare thee well, Letitia, fare thee well.
Fare thee well.
Fare thee well. Fare thee well.
Fare thee well, Letitia, fare thee well.
Fare thee well.
Fare thee well. Fare thee well.
What a mess! Coming up on the zoo. Can Carboy be saved from the perils of the bear pit? Oh, probably not. These guys are animals. Especially that one. And will our lovers ever reunite? It seems unlikely. And where is Tom Brown? Seriously, have you seen him? He's not backstage, he's not anywhere. These are all burning questions that will just have to wait, because I have a one-way business class ticket to Japan! Is that the Mikado?
A more humane Mikado never did in Japan exist. To nobody's second, I'm certainly reckoned a true philanthropist. It is my very humane endeavor to make to some extent each evil liver a running river of harmless merriment. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fits the crime, and make each prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment. Oh, prosy, dull society sinners who chattered and bleat and bore are sent to hear sermons from mystical Germans who preach from 10 to 4. The amateur tenor whose vocal villainies all desire to shirk shall during off hours exhibit his powers to Madame Tussauds wax work. The lady who dyes a chemical yellow or stains her grey hair puce, or paints her figure as blackened with vigor, with permanent walnut juice. The idiot who on railway carriages scribbles on window panes. We only suffer to ride on a buffer in parliamentary trains. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
His object all sublime he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
The advertising quack who wheelies with tales of countless cures, her teeth by vernacular shall all be extracted by terrified amateurs. The music hall singer attends a series of masses and fugues and ops, by Bach interwoven with Ford and Beethoven in classical Monday pops. The billiard shark whom anyone catches his doom's extremely hard, is made to dwell in a dungeon cell on a spot that's always barred, and there he plays extravagant matches in fitless finger stalls on a cloth untrue, with a twisted cue and elliptical billiard balls. Oh, kill me. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
His object all sublime he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
Aren't all of these new punishments marvelous? There is beauty in the bellow of the blast. There is grandeur in the going of the gale. There is eloquent outpouring when the lion is a-roaring and the tiger is a-lashing of his tail.
Yes, I'd like to see a tiger from the Congo or the Niger, and especially when lashing of his tail.
For waves have a splendor that is grim, and an earthquake only terrifies thoughts. But to him who's scientific, there is nothing of terrific in the falling of a flash of thunderbolt.
Yes, in spite of all my meekness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for a flight of thunderbolts. If that is so, sing Danny, it's evident, Mary, I'll taste the one. Away we'll go and merrily, merry, no target until it's done, is done. There is beauty duty in extreme old age. Do you fancy you're elderly enough? Information I'm requesting on the subject interesting is a maiden all the better when she's tough.
To others wide dominion, there's a general opinion that she'll last a good deal longer when she's tough.
Are you old enough to marry, do you think? Won't you wait until you're 80 in the shade? There's a fascinating frantic in the ruins that's romantic. Do you think you're sufficiently decayed?
This matter that you mention, I have given some attention, and I think I am sufficiently decayed.
If that is so, sing Daddy Down Derry, it's evident Mary, our taste are one. Away we'll go and merrily merry, no tawdily 13th day is done. If that is so, sing Daddy Down Derry, it's evident Mary, our taste are one. Away we'll go and merrily merry, no tawdily 13th day. Sing Daddy Down Derry, merrily merry, no tawdily 13th day is done.
And now for something completely different.
My eyes are fully open to my office situation. I shall go over to Roderick and make a man arrest, and I shall tell him I've recovered my forgotten moral senses and I don't get up and say beneath or any consequences. But you know, it's the Paris man, sword by the dagger, but a modern man does a little pardon with swagger. Then a word or two, compliment my vanity with friend, but I've got tonight tomorrow, so it really doesn't matter.
So it really doesn't matter. So it really doesn't matter.
So it really doesn't matter.
So it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So it really doesn't matter. Matter.
If I were not a little matter generally silly, I should give you my advice upon the subject willy-nilly. I should show you in a moment how to grapple with the question and you'd really be astonished at the force of my suggestion on this subject. I shall write you out this valuable letter full of excellent suggestions that I feel a little better. But the time of writing, I must find as any habit, so I'll keep it to myself, and my opinion doesn't matter.
Her opinion doesn't matter. Her opinion doesn't matter. Her opinion doesn't matter.
Her opinion doesn't matter.
My opinion doesn't matter.
Her opinion doesn't matter. Her opinion doesn't matter. If I had been so lucky as to have a steady brother who could talk to me as we are talking now to one another, who could give me good advice when he discovered I was getting into just of any favor, which a new way of comparing my existence would have made a rather interesting ill, and I might have lived and died if it decent even widow. This particularly rapid, unintelligible patter isn't generally learned, and if it is, it doesn't matter.
If it is, it doesn't matter. If it is, it doesn't matter.
This particularly rapid, unintelligible patter isn't generally heard, and if it is, it doesn't matter. This particularly rapid, unintelligible patter isn't generally heard, and if it is, it doesn't matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us end our journey tonight with one final trip to the zoo. Prepare yourselves for shocking revelations, tears, laughter, large bags of money. Will our heroes get there happily ever after? Let's find out.
Recover your surprise. Tom Brown assumes his native guise. Eliza, if you'll marry me, the proudest lady you shall be, that of a London town at sea. Eliza say that you will be the Duchess of Islington.
The Duchess of Islington.
The Duchess of Islington.
Oh, ask me not to leave this spot, the peace I love so well, the grief I feel at this appeal, no mortal man can tell. The grisly one will miss his bun, the bun he thought so nice, the polar bear in blank despair will ask in vain for ice. And who will feed that lanky steed, the camel leopard? From these two parts it breaks my heart. It's very, very hard.
Nay, dry your tears, these needless fears, one word shall chase away. I bought them all, the great and small, they go with us today. And every one that hurried on, the gentle armadillo, or rattlesnake when you awake, you'll find upon your pillow. The parrot and cockatoo shall lull you to repose. The nice baboon and strong raccoon shall titillate your nose.
A nice baboon.
A nice baboon. A strong raccoon shall titillate your nose.
My love, my life,
My dove, my wife,
with happiness I die. My love, my life,
My dove, my wife,
with
happiness I die.
Great heavens, I had forgotten.
We too for the moment had forgotten his melancholy end. But now, oh cruel fate, too late, too late.
One moment, allow me to explain.
What here again? Pray why arouse our sympathy, and if you mean it, why not die?
In consequence of some repairs, I much regret they've moved the bears. But I will try the lion's den once more, the bears I'll brave. And then,
the sacrifice would needless prove. I've heard the story of your love. On his consent you now may count. And here is double the amount.
10,000 a year gives them no fear.
Return, my loving heart shall tenderly its love impart. Return, my eye, the warmer part, oh happy, happy day. To happy pairs behold today, my heart men join the by the way. I wonder what the
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our performance. Let's hear it again for our wonderful cast. Now I would like to turn it over to our producer, Lisa, who, as a Savoyard tradition, has some presents for the graduating seniors.
So I think, hello everyone, thank you for coming. Thank you, cast. So I think this year's graduating seniors, let's see, going down the line, Danny Newman. Rebecca Sachs. In the house tonight, if we can have Ale and Fred come out. They're back there. Come on. To you guys. Thank you so much for all of your work over your years here at Stanford. You will be missed, and we certainly hope that you come back and work with us more. And good luck on all of your many adventures. So, thank
you. And once again, we would like to thank you all for coming. You've been a wonderful audience with wonderful voices. From all the Savoyards, we'd like to wish you a happy Mother's Day and invite you to sing with us one last time, He is an Englishman.
For he is an Englishman.
I am the captain of the Pinafore.
A right good captain too.
You're very, very...
With loving and laughing and quipping and coughing, we're happy as happy can be. With loving and laughing and quipping.
Three little maids from school are we. Pert as a schoolgirl can be. Filled to the brim with girlish.
Wandering one, though thou hast chosen. On this subject I pray you be dumb. You'll find there are many who went for a penny.
I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of...
He remains an Englishman. He remains...
For I am a pirate king.
Hurrah, a pirate king.
And indeed, let the Sierra joy be laden, and we're some Sierra, but for the Union, no.
With a cat with a passion that's intense, I worship and adore. But the laws of common sense we must.
So bunkers I have so many, I constantly safely. His object all sublime, he will achieve in time to let.
That is so sing, daddy, down, daddy, it's evident, very our taste are one.
This particularly rapid and intelligible pattern isn't generally heard, and if it is, it doesn't matter. This particularly rapid.
I'm a simple little child, and my ways are nice and mild, and I never harmed a soul in all my life. And I don't know what is wrong, as my principles are strong for this hemisphere of wickedness and strife. I have bracelets, it is true, and I've diamonds, just a few, that are locked up in a chest of drawers at home. And a dressing case with tops of gold and diamond drops, but I haven't an idea from whence they come. And the bouquets come in showers of the most expensive flowers that Convent Garden Market can provide. And it happened once last year that a poor cook did appear, the very best of thoroughbreds to ride. I have dresses by the dozens, but they're giving me by cousins who have known me ever since I was that high. And tickets to the play are sent me every day, but I'm sure I never can